You are listening to the IFH Podcast Network. For more amazing filmmaking and screenwriting podcasts, just go to ifhpodcastnetwork.com.
Hey, and welcome to episode 370 of the show. This week we have Hannah Barlow and Kane Senes from horror film Sissy, which recently premiered at South by Southwest. They talk about finding the right team, wanting to add to the official canon of horror film as a genre, and much more. Enjoy the interview, and I'll see you in the intermission. All right, thanks y'all for coming. I really appreciate it. I would ask how South by is going, but it seems like it's going very well considering the recent news about Shudder. Do you want to talk about that for a second? Because that's very exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited and extremely grateful to have Sissy at such a wonderful and appropriate home.
Yeah, and Shudder's been really great. They've been really positive about the film. We obviously loved their app before, being fans of horror and all things genre, and it's just been really nice to kind of have had that deal in place just before the festival started, just to kind of, I guess, allow us to celebrate the festival and not kind of stress too much about trying to sell the movie, you know. So it's been a treat in that sense.
Well, was that always part of the plan? Did you have like a list of people like, oh, we hope A, B, and C pick it up, but if, you know, D, E, F does, then that's okay. You know, what was your kind of attack plan going into South by?
Well, we're just the writer-directors. We don't really have any control over distribution, but you know, of course, have your dream list, and Shudder was right at the top. So we're just pretty stoked.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think because we thought our film is such a kind of wacky horror and unconventional horror in many ways, just from what we knew of Shudder at the time, we didn't really know if we were their kind of brand, I guess, you know. But what we learned from them and kind of meeting with them and things like that was that they kind of want to they're broadening that view of what the genre is, and that's really cool, you know. Like they're trying to mix it up a lot. So I think once we realized that we do have a place in all that, and that it does kind of make sense for their platform to have a film like ours, then we were kind of really stoked about it for sure.
Yeah, man. Like I've had Shudder for years, and they've really just been adding so much stuff. Whereas before it was like, all right, this is cool that there's a horror app, and you know, maybe this will eventually be a cool thing. And now it's getting to the where I'm like, oh, this is really worth the money. And it's still so cheap, you know, it's so crazy because there's so much cool stuff on there now.
Yeah. And, you know, just to be amongst some of that content feels pretty cool.
Yeah. I think when I saw that Revenge was Shudder Original, which was one of the references for us when we were kind of going in, that kind of gave us a lot of, I guess, excitement, you know, just being like, well, if Revenge can be on here, then we can be on here.
Yeah.
Plenty of good films on here. So,
well, I'm always curious how films, stories, just that initial spark of, you know, any film, no matter how long, no matter how short, it's an endeavor. It's not just a project. It's a thing that you're going to be working on for years. And at what point was this film, did you know, this is what we're going to be spending a significant portion of our lives on?
I think we came up with the concept in 2018, and we just wanted to go down this road. I think we're big risk takers in our lives, and we just took a bet on this idea because our previous film, which is our first collaboration together for now, was a similar cabin in the woods story, but more of a like Duplassy and Lynn Shelton style mumblecore road trip film, right? That we made for like 25 grand. And our executive producer, Will, gave us the feedback because he loved the movie. He was like, if you want to make this sort of like commercially successful, you would have turned this film into a horror in the second half. And as fans of horror, the cogs started turning, and we were like, okay, how can we do this but elevate it, build on what we've already made? And that's how Sissy came about. So it was never really a question of should we do this project. We just kind of dove in and made a gamble, and it really worked out.
Yeah, and I don't think you ever kind of think to yourself, oh, this is the next 2-3 years of our lives.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like standing at the foot of like a mountain and kind of going like oh, I got to get to the very top. It's a lot easier to just put one foot in front of the other, and then you kind of get to the other end, and then you go like, oh shit, we're actually here now, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely. I definitely think it's it's you can't look at the end when you're at the beginning if that makes any sense, or it's just too overwhelming to even begin.
Oh yeah, and as a huge horror fan, and I've written horror features myself, I'm always just kind of the back of my head thinking, I've seen so much, I've seen so many kills. You know, how do you find original, fresh kills or anything new in the genre? Was that in the back of your mind creating this, or did you just say, oh, we're just gonna make the best film and not really worry about anything that's come before it?
I mean, I think if you're going to add to the canon, you need to kind of be thinking about how to reinvent the kills or add, contribute basically.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, I mean, it's equal parts kind of, homage and doing things that you've seen before that you love, but just kind of putting, I guess, a modern spin on it and
having fun with it, right?
And then thinking like, hey, if this is every version of someone who's been run over by a car, what's our version?
Right.
It's like a bit of both. Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun watching it, and man, yeah, we'll talk about, I guess, the very beginnings of the story. How did you break all the characters? Especially, I really admired how I guess you could say the three main characters, three main ladies, like you understood all their positions about how awkward this weekend was for everybody. And I feel like that takes a lot of character work. Did you do a lot of character back sheets and that kind of thing?
I think we just sort of organically followed this sounds like such a wank, but allowing the characters to sort of reveal themselves to you. There wasn't a lot of like trying to figure, dissect who these people were. It was just how do they fit into the story, and how are they serving the message that we're trying to lay out here. So I think just we studied a lot of films like Bridesmaids and Muriel's Wedding and Carrie and, toxic female friendships, because there's often a trifecta of the rescuer, perpetrator, and victim. And that's kind of how we allowed Alex, Emma, and Cecilia to unfold to us. But really, like, Cecilia was the North Star. She's the main character. So Alex and Emma kind of had to be in opposition to her.
Yeah, and then you tweak the characters a little bit when you know who's playing them. So there was a bit of that as well.
Yeah. No, like I said, it was really great, and I always appreciate films like that where you can just understand everybody's perspective, because it makes it more intriguing and kind of, I don't want to say more of a difficult watch, but you're like, oh, I want to identify with one person, but I kind of get everybody's perspective here. It's a tough tightrope to walk.
This episode is brought to you by Barlow Insurance. Barlow is Georgia's premier film insurance agency. With over 10 years of experience in commercial lines and with film industry professionals on staff, Barlow offers you the insurance you need for your next project, including equipment, general liability, auto liability, workers' comp, guild travel, and more. Contact Barlow when you are starting your next production. For more information, check out their website at barlowins.com.
Hey, and welcome to the intermission. This is Chuck just breaking in with some quick announcements. Kind of a short episode. They had a limited time to talk because it's a press junket, so I'll keep this short. April 4th, next Monday, Film Bar Monday. It's at the Independent. Go check it out. May 10th, I'm having a read-through of my script 8-Bit Blood Sport at Roll Call Theater. Tremendous cast. It'll be a lot of fun. Come join us. April 21st through May 1st, Atlanta Film Festival. Lots of films, panels, etc. And of course, thanks to our sponsors, Element Certified Public Accountants and Consultants. Are you good with money? Specifically, are you good with film finance and you want to help others with their money? Well, Element and its sister company, Storyboard Financial Services, are hiring production accountants. They are looking for entry-level clerks and production accountants, assistants, and keys. Full-time positions include health benefits, retirement benefits, and immediate room for growth. If you're interested, please contact Element by visiting elementcpas.com. And that is also where you should go if you do need help with your film finances. People like me don't know anything about money. What is money, really? I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. Wouldn't even know where to begin. Yet, I have a production company. I have two, actually. I have my own problems, taxes, etc., and I've got stuff I have to worry about. I've always got money issues floating around in my head, whether I'm on set, whether it's my production company stuff. I need help, and most likely you do too, which is why you should go to elementcpas.com to get help. Or if you're already good at this stuff and you want to help other people and you're looking to make a change, elementcpas.com. Based in Atlanta, great company, great people. They were on the show back in the day, very nice. Go check them out. So yeah, great talking to Hannah and Kane. I should have some other South by stuff coming soon, but it was great to talk to them. They sent the film over. It's very good if you haven't seen it. Make sure to check it out as soon as you can. Not only does it add well to horror canon, it's also Australian horror canon with its own very specific thing. So I highly recommend it. All right, I'm going to get you back to the show. Keep enjoying the interview. Keep working on your own stuff so you can have your own film at South by or wherever you go, the Atlanta Film Festival, wherever it is. Only way you can do that is keep moving. All right, back to the show.
Film Impact Georgia is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing a voice to independent film production in the Peach State. Their focus includes short film grants, development labs, community boosting events, and support services from vendors and mentors. Georgia has diverse and engaging storytellers, and FIG is determined to help break down the barriers to creation in our state. Find more information about the organization and how to get involved at filmimpactgeorgia.org.
Well, going into production, is there anything that you remember on your first film that you talked about that you took to this film? You know, maybe something you learned specifically on that production to do or not to do that you used on Sissy.
Well, I mean, For Now was a very different beast in that it was like we were just, a crew of like 3 people in a van, and
we shot it in 7 days with like 25 grand. So it really wasn't like applicable.
It was almost like a kind of documentary kind of run and gun approach. But I guess what you take from that is, just, I guess, the ability to cover scenes very quickly and minimally.
To slash scenes when you're running out of time.
Yeah. It's a very kind of, it's a very different way of working. I mean, Sissy was very fast. Like, we didn't have a lot of time, but it was still kind of a little more of a traditional film set,
Yeah, way more resources. And
So I would just say the kind of, I don't know, I guess the ability to just kind of throw something together on the fly if you are kind of running out of time or it's getting towards the end of the day, that kind of ability to just, I guess, to kind of improvise a little bit
when you're problem solving.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of problem solving, was there anything that popped up on Sissy that you just really weren't expecting that you had to deal with on the day, and very unexpected came up?
I mean, I wouldn't say anything super unexpected. I mean, obviously when you're doing practical effects like we did, there's always that kind of, fear that you've got like one shot at this and that it won't go to plan. But it did. But, that's always a thing that you kind of have in the back of your mind. Like, I hope we do this right, because we probably don't have another one of these, or we don't have time to do another one, and it's a lot of cleanup with some of those gory practical effects. So I don't think there was anything super unexpected. I mean, it went fairly to plan according to like we basically shot out our storyboards, or at least a kind of version of them. And I think sometimes, like the house that we were shooting in, had like a lot of glass windows all the way around it, and so it was a bit tricky sometimes with kind of that first scene when they arrive at the house and they all kind of, Cecilia meets the group and sees Alex for the first time again. We had to like split that up over 3 days, so it's not a very big scene, but because of where the sun was and the fact that we kind of needed like that late afternoon sun, we had to like split a scene into 3 different days. So that's always kind of a bit of fun, where you're picking up where you left off, and the sun is like in a completely different spot, but somehow it cuts together when you get in the edit.
Yeah.
So
very
just
color grading.
just small logistical things like that, I guess you're adjusting on the fly, you know.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. And then, of course, they always say shooting outside, shooting in the woods. So I talked to somebody last week. They said, you know, whenever an actor sees exterior running through the woods, they go, "Oh no!" But of course, there's a lot of this is pretty typical in horror. You gotta have chasing in the woods scene. So nothing crazy happened with that. No unexpected rain or anything.
Well, we had, you know, our actors, they are typical Australians, like, and I say what I mean when I say that is that they're willing to literally put themselves in the mud.
Okay.
So, like, Canberra was, you know, I guess it was unexpectedly cold for us Sydney-siders who don't know otherwise. But, you know, Alex, played by Emily de Margheriti, she was in, like, I think 10-degree, what would that be in Fahrenheit?
It was very cold. We were basically in ski parkas and
it was
scarves and beanies.
And she's got worms on her, and, you know, she just went for it. And the same, I think every actor on our set went through something a little grueling, and just, you know, they put up with it. So we're very lucky in that sense.
Yeah, but I think we dodged rain pretty much.
Yeah, we did,
I don't think we had to shoot any cover sets really or anything. So we were very fortunate in that way. But yeah, just a little bit of late night, you know, exterior night, cold nights basically.
Switching to night shoots halfway through and then back again. It just, people were had pretty remarkable attitudes considering how little sleep they were getting.
Yeah.
No, that's great. And that also comes with casting the right people, you know, just finding those people that, you know, oh, they're going to stick with it.
Yeah. And our lead, Aisha, like, she's just such a hard worker, and she just has the best attitude in the world. And we're a little biased, but we think she's pretty brilliant in the movie. And she did that on like such little sleep and just jumping from scene to scene with like 1 or 2 takes, because that's all we had. So yeah, we're very grateful.
And real brief before we go, talk a little bit about working as a team. Is there any butting of heads, or do you have a system for working out issues? You write and direct together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely like debate ideas until we arrive at the solution. But I think we're very fortunate in that we like the same things. So
yeah, that helps.
we don't have a lot of I don't think we spend a lot of time disagreeing, which is really good.
Yeah, we kind of finish each other's sentences a little bit, which kind of obviously comes along with being in a relationship for 8 years and kind of making films together. It's you just learn each other's language, you know. There's definitely a shorthand.
We trust each other's opinions, which is nice, which has kind of allowed us to go down this road of taking a risk of writing a script for 1.5 years before seeing any form of like development or interest from Arcadia, our production company. So
you got to take that kind of that gamble that I guess we took on ourselves and that we did before with our last film. It's just, I guess the hardest part of it is just when you're kind of just living that uncertain life and
trusting that things are going to work out, like having blind faith in such a fickle industry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And just,
we have to pep each other up and sort of have each other's backs.
Yeah. Because you've got two filmmakers in one relationship. You know, it's not like where you have kind of someone who's the lawyer and they're on the stable income and then the other's the artist. So in terms of our lives, yeah, that's probably the biggest kind of struggle. But there's just nothing else that we want to do. So it's just kind of one of those things where we don't even really debate that. It's just, we just help each other get through the kind of doubts of that, or not even the doubts, just the kind of uncertainty of it. But then obviously when the thing is going and you do start to make the movie, it's full steam ahead, and we basically just kind of, I don't know, I feel like we kind of carry the same load, and we pick up where the other puts down, basically.
And we debrief at the end of and go, oh, what did you go through today? Oh, I did this. Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's really nice. We're all unfortunately already out of time. Tell everyone where to find information. Obviously, you can see it on Shudder soon, hopefully. But where to find information, websites, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just let's follow at Sissy Movie. You can find us on Instagram, and that's where all the information will be released, I'm sure.
Sissy.movie.
At Sissy.movie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? I don't think we have an exact release plan just yet, but stay tuned. It'll kind of be later in the year on Shudder. It'll still be available to rent on iTunes and Amazon and all that as well. So people will find it.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on today. Good luck with the film and your future projects.
Thank you
Thanks
for having
a lot,
us.
Charles. Thank you. It was nice chatting to you.
The AFC Indie Filmmaking Podcast is produced by Zombie Cat Productions and Tranquil Aggression Productions. Your host is Chuck Thomas from AtlantaScreenwriter.com. Editing is by Joshua Golke. Find him at AtlantaFilmmaking.com. Music and event recording is by Michael Breezy Keys Jones. He is found at LDXSoundLabs.com. Zombie Cat Productions is owned by Molly Coffee. You can find it at ZombieCatProd.com and her at MollyCoffeeDesign.com. I am your announcer, Rob Scheimer. I can be found on SoundCloud. My profile name is ROBSHIMER. Thanks to our media partners at CinemaATLMagazine.com, and thank you for listening. Grab all our episodes at AFCIndieFilm.com.